Let me introduce you to Bo Miles, a unique and likable guy. Everyday life, friends and family makes up the honest dream.
All right. Here we are. Another episode of the Artistry of Podcast. I am Bo Miles. If this is your first time listening, thank you. And welcome. Welcome. Now, usually I have a co-host, but my co-host is down. You know, and man, I haven't even talked to him. I was meaning to call him today. I was meaning to call Fid Lou. I was meaning to call him today. But I didn't. I was just working, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna call him after this, once I do my pickup. So the way my route runs, I deliver from probably like 9 o'clock to around 1, and then 1 o'clock I started doing my pickups. So I was saying to myself, like, all right, 1 o'clock, once I start my pickups, then I'm gonna go ahead and call him. But I didn't call him, and like I feel like I'm, when I call, maybe that might be making them down, because it's like man, you start to remember how things were. You start to romanticize the past, and then you get down about your present, right? So I haven't called them in a while, probably a week or two, almost 2 weeks, which, like, man, I'm feeling bad. I'm like, yo, nah, man, I definitely gotta call him tomorrow just to check on him, see how he doing. And, I don't want to, because it's so crazy. Like, before you know it, it's a month then gone by, 2 months, 3 months. Like, yo, that time just flies. It's just crazy. It really is. Like, so I don't want to get too far away, So, so I'm gonna definitely hit him up. Now, I do have the Google Voice number. Let's see if I can pull it up. Now, man, I don't think I have it on this device. Maybe, I'm sure. Yeah, I did, because when I use it, like, so if you guys send in any questions or comments, then what'll happen is it'll come on this phone, and then I can play it because I have a headphone jack, and I have it all set up easily where, boom, you can listen, right? So that's the whole idea. Now I'm just trying to pull up the number, right? So this way, oh yeah, I sent it in here. So, all right. So the Google Voice number, if you guys want to send in any questions for, and I'm gonna play it on here, right? But if you like spamming or just saying whatever, like, nah, man, I ain't, it just depends. It just depends. But the number is area code 304-410-0363. Yeah, you just call that, and we'll play it on the Artistry of Podcast. Any comments on whatever episode you guys were listening to, you can call that number, right? 304-410-0363. Artistry of Podcast. All right. So, yeah, I need to hit Fid up. I'm gonna hit him up tomorrow and just check on him, make sure he's doing all right, see how he's doing. You know, we can talk. And my birthday is coming up soon. My birthday is in a few days. So, I mean, it's no real big deal. Like at this point, especially when you got kids, is life stops being about you and it's more about just your family, right? If you have a wife, it's about your wife, right? If you have kids, it's about your kids, and you know you start to just take the back burner, right? But I do want to address one of the. I got a comment on Nature's Kiss, and it was from the big homie Ill Will, and he was saying, and like I'm not reading it because it's on my other phone that's downstairs charging. So all in all, what he was saying was he didn't agree with the police having military like power, I'm guessing, right? And then he put it a lot more eloquent than I did, but just in a nutshell, that's what he was saying. Like, yo, I mean, this is the police, not the military, right? So I definitely can see where we're, and that's just society. That's why society is saying defund and let's move resources and like rethink the police situation, right? Because police, the actual police, actually they started around slavery, right? So, and it's just like, all right, it's just like a neighborhood type of protection, right? But the main focus was going to be on slaves, and we're gonna really talk about that because I feel like people just have it twisted on slavery and politics because at the end of the day, it's really all about money. It's like, you guys will never hear me endorsing nobody, right? Because it doesn't matter if it's the left wing or the right wing. It's the same bird. Like, it doesn't matter. And if you look at it like, okay, if the game is football, it doesn't matter what coach I get to run the team. We're still playing football, right? So if you have a problem with football and you're getting mad at the coach, look, man, we need a new coach. But really you're tired of the game. So it's like, yo, it really doesn't matter what coach, because when you talk about anything that any president has done since I was alive, like, it's never affected me. Like, it just hasn't. And that's not me trying to convince you guys on what to do or how to go about your life. Like, I'm not trying to convince nobody. I'm just saying, this is how I feel. I have friends who feel strongly and feel deeply about politics, and that's okay. Yo, you can feel strong. Like, I have a close friend who's a avid, deep down Trump supporter, and I have a friend who is mainly, most of them, they're going to be Democrats, right? And I would say, like, my mom really never talked about politics in the house. I don't know what was her views, or my dad. Like, I remember my dad was campaigning with a guy. This is in Baltimore, and the guy was running for some type of councilman, right? He was running for some type of office. So I remember my dad just being there and going to the rallies, and you know, them being in the office and doing I don't know what they were doing, handing out flyers. Like, look, man, this is the 80s. So I'm just guessing because the guy was black that he was a Democrat in the city, right? And what you find is in most cities, the city is going to be more Democratic, right? And as you move away from the cities into the rural areas, then it's going to be more Republican. But we're going to definitely be talking about politics in this episode, and not current Republican Democrat politics. No, we're not talking about politics in that sense. We're talking about real life politics, street politics, because what I learned is that life repeats itself, right? If we go back to the ancient Sumerians and look at how they were doing things, I'm sure it's going to look a little bit like how it looks today, right? The only difference is that the world was a lot smaller in the sense of awareness and people. No matter how far, no matter when you go back in time, and as you come forward, you're going to see that things look the same. Like if you look at Apocalypto, right, which is an awesome movie. I really love that movie. I'm gonna have to buy it, actually. Like I'm gonna have to buy it like after this, or at least by Friday. I'm buying it for a birthday present for myself. That's gonna be my present, Apocalypto. So in that movie, you kind of see Mel Gibson tells a story, right? He tells a story of life in South America, and at the end, it's I wouldn't say it's like a twist ending. It's not a twist ending, but it's definitely like, oh, all right, I know how this story plays out, right? So no matter when you go back in time, Egypt, before Egypt, the dawn of civilization as we know it, right? You're going to see certain things. And as I speak on just me growing up in Baltimore, like I'm going to take you from day one with no type of power to having, I would say, enough power to feel safe. Right, enough power to where I could bring down. I don't have this today. What I'm about to say, like I don't have this today because the landscape changes, right? And that's a part. That's a part of the politics and keeping in the struggle to keep things stable, right? To keep things static. Because life is dynamic. Life is constantly changing, right? Like it's constantly changing. So what I was going to say is from a point of like no power to a point of bringing anybody in, bringing any one of you guys in to Baltimore, and you guys would be safe, right? Like, yo, you would be safe because you with me. Like, yo, if I say that you good, then you good. And there's no question. There's no question asked. You can stroll around. Like you could say, yo, before you get beat up, like, yo, man, I'm here with Bo. Oh, all right. Okay. Right. And they going to say something like, yo, man, you probably want to get over there then. Right. Or like, yo, I might get the call. Yo, man, this dude right here, especially like in today's standard, FaceTime. Like, yo, FaceTime him. Yo, you know him? Yeah, yo, he cool, man. Leave him alone. Oh, all right. Right. So like I said, I don't have that type of protection. I can't offer that type of protection now. Like, look, man, I know a couple people, but I don't have a clue. I don't have a clue who run the shop, right? Which, I know a few things here and there, but let's just go ahead. Let's just jump into it. first things first, man, you messing with the worst. I'll be sticking pins in your head like a fucking nurse. I'll attack any nigga who's slack with the Mac. That's some of that old dirty for y'all. Just kind of get you warmed up, you know. But we gotta take it. We gotta take it from my early childhood, right? It's gonna be, it's gonna be in a little area called Cherry Hill, right? So in Cherry Hill, I remember, and I told y'all the previous, and I'm not going to preface a lot of these stories. So you're going to hear some of the same stories over. That's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. Things will never be the same. So you got Cherry Hill. I'm young, a young tyke. I remember not being tall, like not even reaching the kitchen table, the dining room, right? We really didn't have a dining room. So you just had the kitchen. You had the kitchen table. You didn't have a dining room table. Like, that's the way things are now. But I'm sure some of you guys, look, you got a kitchen table. So I remember not even being tall enough to even reach the kitchen table. So that's young. At that point, you just hanging out with family. And there was a bunch of us. It was like a bunch of cousins. And I just remember being with them. And then I remember them starting to go to school. So you figure at this age, this was before first grade. So they were going to like Head Start. Because I remember I went to kindergarten. So I believe there was even something before kindergarten, maybe pre-K. Right? So you had Head Start, then you had pre-K, then you had kindergarten, then you had first grade. So I remember all of my cousins going to some type of daycare, some type of Head Start. I didn't go. And I remember just being bored, being sad, and you watching shows like, so my mom watching whatever, she's watching TV shows, watching the stories, right? The soap operas, they just call them the stories. So she's watching the stories. Man, and I remember some of them, and like, because I haven't thought or talked about it, like I really don't remember the order, but I used to know the order. Right. I used to know the order clear and clean as day. I knew that order. And I want to say maybe The Price is Right. I think The Price is Right came on before the stories. So that was probably like in the morning. It was like a couple game shows. So you had The Price is Right. You had maybe another type of game show. So we kicked it off with, you had your morning cartoons. They came on every day around like 7, and probably 7 to 9 or 7 to 11. And so you had that. You had Sesame Street. You had Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. So you had that. And then I want to say at some point The Price is Right. So I probably took a nap. Boom, you knock out your nap. Before you know it, the soap opera's on. And around that time, that's when your family members start getting home, right, from these schoolings. So that went on, right? But I remember that. You outside, everything is all friendly, you know. Everything is just beautiful. Like outside, I mean, the grass is green, bees are just vibrant. I mean, you get stung, right? So you're not even really interacting. You're just living off of somebody. You're not aware of reality. You're not even aware of politics. Politics is still going on, just like I said about the president. Right? Now, just because I'm not aware of any of the bills that affected my life, that doesn't mean that none have affected or none have not affected. right? So that's just being aware of that, just looking at your early childhood and understanding that, look, politics and life is still happening. It was real safe. Like, it was no fighting. It was just safe, right? But there was a reason why, right? And we'll get to that, because eventually I'll become one of the reasons why it's safe for people. Why it's safe. Why people feel like they can walk. I'm sure if you talk to some of the people who grew up under me, they'll tell you the same thing. Like, yeah, man, you was safe, right? So eventually look, it's a circle, and eventually I had my turn, right? So you have that. Then we get, I'm not really sure what happened, but everybody moved out. So we was packed in like sardines, like my grandmother, my mom, my aunts, their kids, me, right? This is all on Slater Road in Cherry Hill. So we packed like sardines in there. We just, boom, living it up, right? It was just fun. It really was like just the best time, just to be a kid, and you were never alone, and you just had your family, you had all of these kids, you had all of these adults. It was a good time. And I want to say they probably got, like, maybe my mom and her sisters and my mom or whoever, they got into a big argument. They got into a big thing. And boom, we moved on the east. Now, on the east, we moved with my great-grandmother, right? Now, my great-grandmother, I found her obituary as I went to go clean out my mom's things after she passed. And so I lived with my great-grandmother, and I got a chance to talk to her and know her, right? But you're a kid. You know, you're a little kid, and I'm probably kindergarten, right? Like right towards the end of kindergarten, because I remember walking. So we're on East Baltimore. I remember walking to Cherry Hill, going to school, and walking back. And that's a long walk. Like that's like South Baltimore to East Baltimore. And no matter what city, no matter what town you live in, you know that the south side to the east side is going to be far. The east side to the west side is going to be far. Like, look, it's just, these places are far. But I remember walking there in school, and then I got transferred and went to school 250. Went to school in East Baltimore. Right, first grade. Now, you meeting all of these kids. Is no violence, right? School is fun. Everything is like, life is fun. Everything is new. You wake up, you just get in this routine. Everything is okay. And I remember, like, one of my best friends at the time, his name was John. Right. And then I remember, like, boom, when we met later on, maybe in like second, third or fourth grade, like, yo, he totally forgot me. But as a kid, I just had a memory. I just had one of those killer memories, right? I remembered everybody that I met. I remembered everybody. So everybody in the first grade, because you figure they got maybe 2 classes. And this is how it is now. Usually your first grade will have like 2 to 3 classes. And I want to say it was 2. It was 2 classes, right? So my class, I remembered everybody in my class. And then we all moved. Second grade, we were all together, right? You move together, boom. And third grade, right, is so you moving up this trajectory, right? And I don't think I talked about Lanisha, which is no need to rhyme her name, because is you know, it's just, I have a funny story about her, but we'll save that for another podcast. But it's nothing bad. I guess maybe it would be. So I'll say it rhymes with Krenacia, but and this is later on, right, when I tell it. But you guys already know that it's Lanisha. But yeah, I was in love with Lanisha, right? So boom, you got your school, you got first grade, but like I said, boom, John forgot a nigga. Like, yo, man, we was besties. We was best friends, dog. But that's just how it was. Like, yo, a lot of people was forgetting you. Meanwhile, outside of school, you have the people around the corner, you got people down the street, right? You're still a nobody. You're still a nobody. Your vote doesn't count. Nothing, your opinion doesn't count. You can't even vote yet. Why? Because you really can't even contribute. You can't contribute to the hood. You can't even contribute to anything. Like, yo, we not even listening to you. Right? So under that type of circumstance, look, I had the corona cough there. Right? I know some of y'all like, yo, man, don't say that. You might get it. If he jinxy jinx, you better knock on wood 3 times and put your finger up your ass and scream hot you or something. I don't know. But you didn't have a voice, right? You didn't have a voice, but you got school politics. School politics is something else, because what you get is the wealthy kids. Mainly, I would say the wealthy kids are the ones who get treated good and who has some type of they're higher up in the hierarchy. If their parents have money, they're higher up. They're popular. They have all the popular clothes. They have all the popular shoes. Right? This is, now you figure, like, all right, mainly I would say you start to really notice it, or I really noticed it in the 3rd grade. And I could have noticed it in the 2nd grade, but I don't really feel like I really noticed it in the 2nd grade. Everything was still like an extension of the 1st grade. But in the 3rd grade, and I'm sure maybe the teachers were probably exercising politics and not even knowing, but setting up the groundwork. So then you get 3rd grade, it's like full blown, right? It's full blown school politics. Like I said, the wealthy kids are going to be the popular kids. They're going to be the ones who all the other kids kind of like, and they look up to, and like, yo, what are they doing? You just follow their lead. And so that's school politics, right? So all of us, so already school politics is based on money. Already. It's the backing of their home state, right? Their parents. That's the foundation now. Boom. Jill, she has the new Jordans, which I'm sure the Jordans were out. I don't really remember the Jordans being a thing until I want to say I first really noticed them and paid attention. It was probably maybe the 4th, maybe like the 4th or the 5th grade. I remember like the Scottie Pippens were gray. So the Pippens were gray. And the Jordans, because like I remember, like now I can see all of this is the Air Jordan 1s and the 2s. Like I can actually see them and see the designs. But those designs didn't really stand out to me because, like I said, like the school politics wasn't a real thing yet until 3rd grade. So The first shoes that I really remember would be like the Bo Jacksons. I remember those. And you got the, then after that was like the Huaraches, right? So it's all about where you come from. Do they got money, right? So my family didn't have money. I was probably the poorest kid in the school. And look, you just had to you had to tough it out. You just had to rough it out. Okay. I got the no name shoes. Mom, can I get some Nikes? Nah, man. We're gonna get you some Eagles. Right? We're gonna get you some shoes from Payless. I remember going to Payless and that's not even being a problem. Yo, we at Payless. Look, what pair of shoes you want? Get me the Velcro joints, right? Get me the strap them downs. Okay. Look, I want y'all to hold me down. Get the straps. Right? Look, hey, you don't know how to tie your shoes? Nah, I've been getting these Velcro. Let me get the Batmans. Let me get the Flash. Right? I don't even know who this is, but let me get those. So you got that, and boom, now all of a sudden, now that stuff matters. And it's just crazy. Now that stuff matters, right? Now politics is starting to come into it. Whole family got money, right? Because no matter how far up you go, even we look at politics now, it's still ran by money. So we got to go, let's step back. Let's go look at slavery. Let's look at the Civil War, right? We got to look at the Civil War, and we got to understand that the South made their money off of slave labor, which is free labor. They making a killing, right? They have these crops. You got your sugar, you got your cotton, you got rice, you got corn, you got farming. You just got labor, right? But you got slave labor. So so the South amassed great wealth. The North had factories, factory jobs, importing and exporting, which that's what the South was doing. But the South didn't have to pay their workers, right? The South wasn't paying their workers. So it's like, yo, the North, they get they looking at it like, yo, man, we're getting overtaken by the South because the southern states were bigger than the northern states. They're bigger. They're making more money. They're getting it in. Hand over fist. North like, yo, nah, we need to shut that down. Right? So if you take away the slaves, you take away the free labor. And now you take away the South's money. Like, that's what you do. So, boom, look, that's what we got to do. And you frame it however you need to frame it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you frame it. Right? But in the same sentence, it does matter. If you want the people rallying, if you want people, because people are emotional. People are emotional. And as much so we can go a few tiers and become as intellectual as we believe that we are. But at the end of the day, we're emotional. Emotions make you sad sometimes. Emotions make you dead sometimes. Right? Yo, man, that's what we are. We're emotional creatures. We're very emotional. Right? That's our nature. Our nature is emotion. And then we have an idea that governs the emotions. You have an idea, a standard, right? That's an idea. That's not natural. The way we are now, like even just what we look like now, like it's not natural. It's not natural. What we are now is an idea that we've all brought into, that we all say like, yo, this idea keeps peace. This idea keeps, and it sustains equality for the most part. We all like what's going on. Politics, boom, right? So we go back, we hit the North versus the South, we hit the Civil War. We understand that, yo, the South make their money off of slave labor. The North needs to get, if the North gets rid of slave labor, then the South will be crippled. Right? Because in the time for them to adjust, and that adjustment period, the North is going to just have a heyday. You know? Drop the beat. Gling, 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 right? That's the war. That's the reason why. Right? So what is that? That's money. So we shoot back to my school politics. Early school politics is going to be money. And you have some kids who, like I said, who growing up rough and who are aggressive and who are violent, right? So violence trumps money. Even what you get is that the kids who are violent, the ones with money, they don't put them down. Yo, you can hang with us, right? You're a fighter, you can hang with us. You're a little aggressive. You'll punch somebody in the mouth. Like, yo, you can hang with us. And actually, we'll pick up some of your ways, some of your habits. We'll take on some of your idioms, right? Kind of be like you a little bit. We'll do that because we see that, yo, this is effective. People respond to this, right? But still, money is still locking everything in place. And no one even has money. It's just their family, their parents. Yo, your parents send you to school with money every day? Like, yo, you're up there in the hierarchy. I mean, it's like, wow. So that's elementary. That's elementary life. Middle school. Now, at the time, like I said, I'm the poorest one, so I don't have any pull. I don't have any pull in elementary school politics. I don't have none. I don't have a leg to stand on. Every girl I liked, they didn't dare say they liked me. They didn't dare say I was cute. They didn't dare say I wasn't even Bo. I was Bobby. Like, yo, man. Like, but I gotta say, so from first grade to second, so kindergarten, first, second, I had girlfriends, right? You get a whole bunch of them because, like I said, politics doesn't matter. I remember it was two twins. I don't know if it was Danielle and Donisha. I don't remember. I know one of them name was Danielle, right? That's an easy one. Danielle's sister, if you're listening, I'm sorry that I forgot your name, but I didn't forget what you look like in the second grade. So and like I said, it could be Donisha. It could be Danielle and Donisha or something close to that, right? That's just funny how the brain kind of pulls out these names and kind of merges different sounds. So I want to say, it was something close to that. Right. So you got that. So I remember going with one. I remember going with both of them. Right. And you just had all types of girlfriends at kindergarten, first, second. Valentine's Day, you was getting them candy. And so it was good. But third grade, nah. once the politics, like, yo, once we entered into politics, I didn't have a leg to stand on. Like, yo, and I know I look good. Like, come on. I see pictures of me back then. Like, come on. Look, this is a good looking guy. This is a good looking guy right here. All right. I mean, he's broke. He can't get you the cookies. He can't get you 35-cent cookies every day. Look, I couldn't get the 35-cent cookies no days. Like, not even the first of the month. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's the first of the month. Get up, get up, get up. Cash your checks and come on. Wake up. Like, not even on the first of the month, I couldn't even get the 35-cent cookies. Right? And if I got them, like, yo, I wasn't sharing them. Look, man, this is every man for himself right now. Look, man, it's a jungle. This is welcome to the jungle. We got the fun and games. Like, yo, man, it's rough. So from third grade on up to middle school, like, yo, no girls admitted that they like me. None, not one. Man, your boy just went down, right? Just so, fifth grade, right in the transition. It's like fifth grade graduation. So you already got your rival gangs picking up. You got your rival gangs. Yo, they live over here. They live over there. Now I had my friends like Clinton. Clinton he's been like my friend probably since like first to second grade. Yeah, first grade. Like, so yeah, big Clint, you know. So you got him, but see, he lived, so I want to say his grandfather lived around me. But he lived, or somebody lived on the other side. So it was like another little clique, right? So I didn't even have a clique. Like, man, like, yo, this is, that's crazy. Like, yo, your boy didn't even have a clique. Your boy didn't have no girls, didn't have no real friends. I mean, that's just crazy. I had Jermaine. He was a friend, and Clinton. So third grade, I failed third grade. So then they moved on. I talked about it in the music. So they moved on. So boom, you guys start over. And when I started over, like, I don't remember anybody like in my class that was my friend. And that's just crazy. Like, that is like, man, that's crazy. Like, dog, what was I doing for those years? Look, I was in the dark ages. Okay. Look, I was in the dark ages, but I still had fun. I still had my friends outside of school, but they didn't go to my school. Right. They didn't go to my school. And like one of my closest friends, he lived down the street, but I don't know what year his grandmother died. I don't remember. But once his grandmother died, then like a lot of they were stacked like sardines as well. So once she died, then they all separated. They all moved, right? Different people moved around and moved wherever. I do remember my dog Keith. So I had like a couple friends, but for the most, so I definitely remember Keith because I want to say, and then y'all know Al. Y'all probably don't, but so Al, that's my friend, that's my cousin, right? So I knew him, but he didn't go to that school. We didn't go to the same school. So like, yeah, a lot of my friends, they just didn't go to the school. So I was riding solo up in there, man. And then, like I said, my dog Clint, Jermaine, they moved on, right? So, boom, man, it's just rough. It's like, man. So, fifth grade, we're at the end, And one of the guys, he was punking me. He was punking me. I want to say his name is Antoine. But and he had like a bunch of little brothers, and he was small. Like he ain't had that work really. But by me just being a kid, and like I told you, like my dad really didn't emphasize fighting and just being violent. Like he really didn't emphasize that. So like I didn't really feel comfortable and felt like, just fighting somebody. I just didn't feel comfortable with it. But my dad we were always wrestling. Right? So that's the thing. So it was like on some Mr. Miyagi type shit. Right? Some wax on, wax off type shit. Like he's getting me ready for transitions and knees and being like dominant, balance, using your legs. Like he was getting me ready for all of that stuff, but he never said it. So I didn't know. Like I didn't know that this is what these drills that we're doing. This is just fun. This is just us playing. We just wrestle. Right? We just constantly wrestling. We just constantly just doing, like I said, you just doing little drills. Little solo grappling drills. But I didn't even know, right? So I was scared. And you got your politics, so nobody's coming to my aid. I don't have nobody. Nobody's going to fight for me. Right? Al, he's in another school. So he not going to fight. Right? And so and that's the way my dad just raised me like that. That's the way he raised us, just the people in the neighborhood who really grew close to him. It was like, yo, man, you gotta stand on your own 2 feet, and you don't go and get somebody to fight your battles, right? And he, like I said, he just never really talked about fighting. Like I remember my dog Daron, because it was him and his little brother. Me and him were cool too, but once I failed, he went forward, right? So he was a part of that gang where you got Clinton, you got Jermaine, you got Daron. He moves forward. Everybody moved forward, right? His little brother Darrell is younger than us, so he's younger than us by a few years. So me and him, we're not in the same class, right? So you just out there by yourself. Look, nobody gonna fight these battles for you. Nobody gonna come to war for you. What you gonna do? So Antoine and just his whole gang, it was a bunch. I can't say it was a bunch of them. Like it was 15 of them. It was probably like 3 of them. But you're a young tyke. You don't know any better. It's like, look, man, you don't know any better. So graduation time come. We graduating. It's the end. And I want to say that he was trying to fight me, but I was avoiding him, right? Just avoiding him. You just running around. You just trying to stay away, right? So this is graduation. We get off the stage, and my mom was across the street. She's across the street coming towards the school, I guess, to get me. But I was trying to run towards her, right? Run because Antoine and whatever the gang, because he's like, yeah, man, I'm gonna beat him up. Antoine's like, yo, he gonna beat up Bobby. So everybody like, yo, the school, everybody, you know how it is. Look, man, after school is like, fight. Everybody just revving up, and they get ready for the battle. I'm trying to get out of there. Look, man, I don't want none. Antoine, like, yo, why you trying to fight me, dog? Like, I didn't even do anything. So I'm trying to get out of there. I'm trying to get away. My mom walks. She turns the corner. So once I see my mom, I I just went into warrior mode. Like, it is so crazy because that's something. It's not like no one ever talked about it. Like, yo, man, don't run in front of your mom. Like, nobody never talked about it, but it was just something I just felt. It was something I just felt. And we was probably like, I was maybe, I want to say like 10 feet away from him. So I was really out of the clear. But once my mom turned around the corner, I was like, nah, like, yo, man, I ain't running in front of my mother. Like, yo, man, nobody ain't going to punk me in front of my mother, man. Like, nobody. So I just turned around. She didn't even know what was going on. I just turned around and just beat his ass. Like, look, man, like all those drills, like all of that stuff worked, and he didn't stand a chance. And I'm sure, you know, that was a tough L for him. But look, man, that's just the way it is. Like, yo, that's just, and that's the way it was going to play out. If we fought 100 times, it was going to come out with me beating his ass 100 times. Like he just wasn't ready at all. I mean, it's just crazy. But yeah, just look. And so that was boom, that was the transition, right? Into middle school. So that's how I closed out elementary school. I beat up Antoine, beat his ass, and I beat up a few people. I want to say that maybe that summer or maybe the summer before. Like, I remember I beat up this dude named Will. I beat him up for his brother. Like, so he was doing something, like picking on his brother or doing whatever. So you know, I beat him up. And then I remember his uncle. I remember his uncle. They like got me, you know. They got me like on the side. I was coming around the corner, and his uncle pretty much just bullied me into not beating him up again. You feel me? So I had to take those Scooby snacks. You feel me? He was kicking me in my side, and it was light work, man. It was light work. But like I told y'all before, look, man, in these type of situations, you gotta cry, man. If you don't cry, then, you know, who knows, right? And like I said, look, this is on the side. Eventually, if I could have just held out, either my brother would have came around the corner, or somebody would have stopped, like, yo, man, why y'all, you know, harassing? Because you figure his uncle is like, yo, like a grown ass man, right? And but it was light work. Like I said, like, it was nothing. I mean, he kicked me in my balls. That hurt a little bit. Like, it didn't even hurt. It was like that sensation, because I've been hit and I had some ball work done where not even like kicked or punched, but, you know, you just do something and you just accidentally hit them yourself, right? On that ball work. So I've definitely had some ball work that's like, yo, that drop, you gotta drop down. You gotta be like, let me hear you say, yeah, yeah. So yeah. But I didn't even tell nobody. Like, and he even said, like, yo, man, go get your dad, you know. So, I mean, he definitely was running his mouth like he was ready. But I just chalked it up, you know. Look, sometimes you gotta know when to hold them. Sometimes you gotta know when to fold them. So, you know, you don't count your money when you're sitting at the table, okay? So I just let it slide. And you figure, like, even once I got into a position of of power, like I still didn't go after him. And I'm talking about the uncle, like, yo, grown man, because you know we started beating up grown men, so he definitely would have been on the list. And yo, he's still not off the list. As I tell this story, like, yo, it just depends on how I feel. Like, yo, if I'm back in the hood and I see him on a bad day, like, yo, he gonna have a bad day. Like, yo, come on, dog. You're a grown ass man trying to intimidate some 9-year-old boy. Like, yo, nah, man, you got to answer for that, dog. So, but I, you know, like I said, I just let it go. It wasn't nothing. It was light work. So, boom, I'm in middle school now. But I go in with that. I go in because middle school politics isn't about money. Now, money still is a factor. Money is no way around it. It still is a factor. But the violence and just that took precedence. Middle school was all about fighting. And it didn't matter if you had money, like, yo, you wasn't exempt. You was going to have to knuckle up. Right? That's middle school politics. It didn't matter if, I don't care how much money your family got. Like, yo, what your knuckle game look like, right? So that's what that was. I didn't know, but I already put it in everybody's mind. Like, they already saw my work, right? They already saw my last production. I'm sure that was eating them up too. Like, yo, man, Bobby beat me up. Oh man, I'm sure that was eating him up. I'm sure, like, yo, I'm sure he's still dreaming about it. Like, yo, man, I should never got beat up. Like, you feel me? Maybe I should have, you know, if I was expecting a knee, you know, I could have crossed my hands and blocked the knee, pushed my right shoulder into his sternum, put my my right foot behind his foot and pushed him down, you know, then I would have had the upper hand. So I'm sure he was reliving that battle for a while, right? And he didn't go to Lombard. He lived in the, he should have went to Lombard, but he didn't. So I'm guessing that beat down probably scared his parents. They was like, nah, man. Cause they knew what time it was, but I didn't, you know, like, yo, we didn't know what time. And when I say we, mainly people who naive and low in the totem. You know, if you got a big brother and your big brother getting you ready. Now, my big brother, like, he didn't emphasize fighting. He was a fighter. He was like, yo, I seen him beat up a lot. He beat up a lot of people for me. And, but, you know, they just didn't emphasize fighting. They just didn't want me fighting. Right? Like, they just didn't want that for me. Right? My brother, my dad, like, they just didn't want that for me. So boom, I'm in middle school and, my dog, I don't know if I was already cool, but his name is Bobby as well. And I'm not sure. I mean, I remember when I met him, it was going down this like crazy neighborhood. It was real bad around this way. And, it was like, yo, your name Bobby? Like, yo, my name Bobby. So, like, I remember meeting him, but I don't remember, like, I know we wasn't hanging out in elementary, but we definitely would walk to school, like middle school. We would walk to school. So 6th grade, this is the introduction to middle school politics. And it's crazy. It's just, boom, it's fighting. I already told y'all, like, yo, it's crazy down there. Lombard is surrounded by projects, like 4 or 5 different projects. And you got Highlandtown, Greek Village, the Sicilians, like, yo, man, little Italy, like, like, yo, man, it's crazy. I remember we got off one of the buses. I don't know if it was like the 13, and it was Hampstead. Maybe there was another middle school. I don't even know where Hampstead was. Like, I've never even been to Hampstead because, like, yo, they'll fight you. And they was trying to fight. Like, I remember we got off and they was like, yo, who trying to fight? So me and Bobby, look, we just got out of there. So that was pretty much my 6th grade. I remember getting beat up Easter Monday. So, you come back after the Easter break Monday. I got my Bugs Bunny shirt with the I want to say it's like Bugs Bunny front, and then on the back you got the back of Bugs Bunny, right? It was a fresh shirt, and I had like some purple Boss jeans. I was feeling real good, and we walking down, and this huge kid, like, yo, this kid is huge, man. The hell you beating up little 6th graders, man, 11-year-olds. So it was him and another dude, right? It was another guy. And like, yo, they jumped me. I don't even know why. They just, I guess, just for fun. And my dog Bradford, he got one of his, I think him and Bobby, they flagged down some person like, yo, they beating up my friend. So the lady started, y'all leave him alone. And there's like the big one, like I say, he's huge. He's like, oh, this is my little brother. And then one of them got the fluorescent light and just bashed it over my leg. Like, yo, these cats, man, they was crazy, man. But don't worry, man. I caught up with one of them. The other one, man, the biggest one, that's the one I really wanted, man. That's the one I really wanted, but I wasn't able to catch up with him, right? But I got the other one, and as you guys can imagine, I mean, he was crying like a little bitch. You feel me? Like, yo, I wanted the big one, dog. Like, that's the one I wanted, man. Oh, like even now, dog. Like yo, man, it ain't over. Like, yo, man, it ain't over. See, in Baltimore, man, people be dying. So he probably already did. So look, just had to. I guess I see you next lifetime. Oh man, yeah. We'll be butterflies, and I'll get my revenge. But so that, look, man, that's how it played out. 6th grade was rough. You're getting acclimated to this new hierarchy, this new system, and you small. Like, I was so in elementary school I was poor, in middle school I was small, right? Especially in the beginning, 6th grade, and you're just running a lot, right? But school politics in middle school even extended into hood politics. So now you just got, I don't know what you call it. I don't know if it's adolescence. I don't know, but it's like, 11-year-old politics. It went outside. It transcended school. Like, it was outside of school. It was in the hood. Whereas in elementary school, it was only in school. But man, middle school, nah, man, it's everywhere. I mean, it was just crazy. It was crazy. And so it's just fighting nonstop. You fighting in school, you fighting outside of school. It's just, you're just fighting. And money, you still got money, people with money, but money didn't matter. Money didn't matter. It didn't. Like, I still wanted money. I still wanted nice things. I still wanted nice shoes, but it didn't matter. Like, it really didn't matter. It wasn't as important. And so 7th grade, that's when things started to turn around for your boy. 7th grade, you get a little size, and it's not even just the size, but it's the allies. So I remember, like, so in 6th grade, one of the homies, his big brother, was in the 8th grade. So by him just being in the 8th grade and he from up top, now, boom, now his power is now starting to extend to us. Right? But that's only in school. That's only in school. In 6th grade, it's only in school. His power only extends in school. 7th grade, then we started hanging out, right? We started hanging in this local arcade, which is Crazy John's. I believe it's still in the city. It used to be 2 Crazy John's. So one is in like a red light district. They have back then anyway. That's where they had the strip clubs. You had you could just see strippers walking outside. Like I remember as a kid, you know, across the street is like the police station, and you can just see all types of sexual stuff. And it's all in just this one little area in the city, right? So it's like our little red light district. So 7th grade, we're in that arcade. Now that arcade is a lot smaller. That Crazy John's is smaller. Then there was one closer to like the west. It's still downtown, but it's closer to the west side. And it's closer to a place called Old Town Mall. So that's where both of those places, that's where I cut my teeth into gaming, right? So I'll tell my gaming story another episode. It might be next episode. It might be another one, you know, a couple episodes from there. But that's when I started really cutting my teeth. I cut them both places, right? So, but for this story, we're just talking about rising up the ranks. So we're hanging out. We're hooking school. We're not even going to school. And you're just hanging with the gang. There's a whole bunch of us. And look, we didn't go to school. We just hung out in the arcade, and we would occasionally go out and beat people up. And that's all we did. We would go to like, where was it? Different malls. We would go to different malls. You go to different malls. You beat people up. You go to different schools. You beat people up. So like we just fighting a lot. 7th grade year, we fighting a lot, beating people up. And I remember we was on a train. This guy was running his mouth. I wasn't even looking at him. I wasn't even worried about him. Right? But you know, I guess he just was like, yo, man, who knows? What I really think now, looking back on a lot of this stuff, man, I feel like a lot of these guys just liked me. They just liked the way I looked. They just felt like some type of sexual energy towards me, and that they just hated that in themselves. So they was like, yo, man, I gotta fight him, you know? Cause like, yo, I wasn't even looking at this dude. Like, yo, we just on a train. It's me and my closest friend, my best friend at the time, Jazz. Like, I'm not even looking this way. Like, yo, I'm worried about something else. And then I just kind of look up, and the dude is just giving me the evil eye. Like, yo, man, it's one of Antoine's homies. So I'm like, yo, man, don't start nothing. It won't be nothing. He running his mouth. And Jazz like, yo, what? Like, yo, what's up? Like, so I'm like, yo, chill. So the dude, you know, he get on the train. We get on the train, and then boom, we see all of our homies, right? The whole mob. And they was like, yo, man, let's go get him. Let's go find him, right? So it's definitely just some crazy times, right? Just middle school. And that 7th grade, right? The initiation. This is the beginning of our goonery. And because the politics extended outside of the school, then now your territory is like growing drastically. Like it's growing crazy. And it just happened. It just happened overnight. Right. So once you gain status in the school, boom, it extends. So I started messing with one of the girls who lived in the projects, right? And I told y'all her name rhymes with Iphany. Let's do a rhyme with Diffany. Terrifany. So I started dating her. So then I'll go down to the projects to see her, and I got cool with her cousin. I'm hanging out with her cousin, and it's like boom. So now I'm kind of cool with the dudes there, right? So now your boy is cool up top, and I'm starting to get cool with the project dudes. And I got Lafayette projects. I had one of my cousins. He had like a killer. Like that's our cousin, but that cousin only really knew him, right? He didn't know me, but I'm like, yo, we fam, we cousins. He like, nah, like, yo, Tavon, you my cousin. And man, it's just crazy. Like, and I had cousins that I was close to. They did that to Tavon. Like, yo, nah, Bobby, you my cousin. Like, so I don't know, man. I don't know why these niggas be just on some shit like that, but they do, right? And really, man, they wasn't really looking at it in the big picture. They was small time. Yo. You running your block, right? You running your block. That's it, man. You just running your block, but you can't leave your block. And when your hospitality, I'm just making up words, but your hospitality only extends in your block. Like, yo, man, you gotta expand. Like I already had that vision, and family was the way to do it, right? Look at that. Now you can expand through family. You can expand your territory. And we're talking about just raw power. We're not even talking about bringing in any money yet. We're not talking about making money. We're just talking about alliances. So we're forming alliances, and I knew that family alliances is going to be the best type of alliance. It's going to be a strong alliance. Y'all got blood. It's your mom know my mom. They hung out. They cool. So we cool. No matter what, we going to be cool forever. Right? Even if it's a difference, even if it's something that you do that I don't like, I'm not going to put the hit out on you. Just off of strength of your mom. Right? Like, yo, so boom, you got to pass. But at the same time, like, yo, I got to pass. I'll still come around. Even though you don't like me, you can still come around and still be protected. Even though I don't like you, I'm not really fucking with you like that. Right. So you got that alliance. But these guys, like, yo, they wasn't thinking like that. They were small time. But I knew it. I knew it even then. I knew it then. Right. So Lafayette projects is on a so-so. It's not really, but at the same time, look, I can at least get a hearing. You feel me? Like, yo, I'm your cousin. Like, yo, nah, you not. Right? But don't worry, guys. I even outgrew them. You feel me? Like, yo, yeah, like, yo, we cousins. Like, nah, dog. Nah, man, I wish we were, like, but like, yo, you you was on some, yo, nah, you not my cousin. You ain't my cousin. So, yo, that's how we got kick it then. You feel me? Like, yo. So it's just funny how those type of situations come up. But if you're not thinking big, you're not thinking grand, then you're not going to be big. You're not going to be grand, right? Just running a little block. Like, come on, man. Like, yo. So now, boom, territory is growing. And like I said, because it's growing outside of school, there you get like a little relationship. It's not a marriage, right? We didn't get married, but we're dating, and boom, I get the power connect. Yo, I'm safe. I'm good down here, right? Now, if I get into some crazy thing with her, then look, the relationship could be compromised, but I'm already gaining traction in my own area, right? So like, yo, now, like, yo, so y'all can come up here. So me and her, we not seeing eye to eye. You could try to fight me if you want, but like, yo, then that means you can't come up here. You know? Like, yo, you can't come up here. And then when we are downtown, like, yo, you know, yo, we downtown. Like, yo, downtown, we run downtown. We run. Like, yo, so the east side of downtown, like, yo, we run that. Y'all are a project on the east, right? So that means that you have to come downtown, but we run it. So look, me and her get into a problem. Your best bet is to just look, man, just set it on the back burner. Voice your opinion, yo, man, that was not right, you know. But yo, that's not how it went. It was more like, yo, you know, y'all gonna break up. That's just how it is, right? Because he's older. He's a little bit older. So he already know what time it is. Like, yo, you know, y'all not gonna be together forever. But yo, let's make this relationship work. You feel me? Like, yo, man. Cause this is gonna turn into money. Right? So he had the wherewithal to kind of look ahead and look at it like, yo, from a money, yo, nah, this is good for money. This is good for business. This alliance, this relationship, like, yo, this is good, right? But it got introduced through the opposite sex, right? His cousin. Right? So his cousin brought the opportunity to him, right? Opportunity of a lifetime. And me. So, boom. So I cross out 2 projects with one, right? Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Now, Flag is still a problem. Lafayette is, you know, like, I wouldn't go down there, but, you know, you got that type of stuff going on. Then your high rises get knocked down. We are still just growing. We're growing in territory, right? Now, boom, we talking about 8th grade. 8th grade, I get into a fight with the guy in the school. I want to say it was 8th grade. I got into a fight with the guy. And it wasn't even really a fight, but he lived in my neighborhood. He lived like right around the corner. And he looked just like me. We looked alike. We was like twins. So eventually, you know, I see him in the neighborhood, right? And by this time, I think we was hanging out with his cousins. You know, so he's like I can't even say he was like the dirty little cousin, but he's probably like the little dirty little cousin. You know, like, yo, like, you know, whatever. However the situation is. He didn't really hang with us, and it could have been a factor just because because we got into a little scuffle. Like, it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't no real fight, but we got into a little scuffle. So that could have been a reason. You just never know. But, you know, he wasn't really hanging. So it was more his cousins. They were apart. And by middle school, I moved a little, like a further up the street. So I probably moved up maybe 5 to 6 blocks up, you know, 5 or 6 blocks north of where I lived. So I still had the area where I used to live, and now you got this new area. Now where I moved, it was already an established, you know, gang up there. They're already established, and I hooked up with, like, my next door neighbor. He was like, he was notorious. Like, he was just a notorious bully around the neighborhood. And man, we used to go on these bullying journeys. Like, it was like he was just collecting. He'd just go into a neighborhood and collect, right? He just had, like, so many people afraid of him. He was just bullying so many people. It was just weird and crazy. And I was just on the side. You know, it wasn't even like I was a wingman. I was just, look, man, I don't know what we doing. Like, I was just hanging out. And we just went, like, I mean, it's just huge territory. Huge, like, far beyond what I could have ever imagined. Like, places, I remember me and my dad, we were in a cab. It was me, my dad, maybe my cousin Tavon, and I don't know if it was Al and John. It was a few of us, but we were in a cab, and I remember the cab stopped at a red light, and it was like a whole huge, like, a bunch of kids, probably like, man, it had to have been like 16, probably like 17 kids. And they, you know, so they're around the car, and one of them, the cab, right, we're in the back. The kids are in the back. My dad's sitting in the front. And I'm at the window, right? All these kids surround, like, they're towards the back of the car. They like, yo, hit him. I'm like, oh, man. So we, like, you know, trying to move out the way. And I remember my dad, he got out the cab, you know, y'all get away from this car, and, you know, la la la, and they running their mouth or doing whatever. But, you know, we didn't get attacked. But that area, like, this guy, like, cause his name is Gerard, and I don't think he's dead. You just never know you never know how these people happen to him in their life. But Gerard, like, even that area, like, he had that area on lock. Like, he had so much territory just on lock. So many people afraid of him, like, so many kids. So many little brothers feared Gerard. Like, man. So I'm going, I'm just hanging out. I'm going with him in these areas, and I'm feeling like, man, they gonna jump us. It's just me and Gerard. Like, Gerard is out in those areas just punking people, beating them up, smacking them. Like, it was so crazy. Like, he just didn't care. Like, look, man, it's my area. Like, I run this around here. Right? This is all violence. We're not even talking about money. We're not even talking about drugs yet. This is all just terror. And so it's like, boom, just clear. I mean, he just clearing these areas, man, just clearing them. And I'm like, man, I thought he was going to get jumped. Like, man, get jumped, you crazy. Like, So, eventually Gerard, he gets into it with the gang that's right at our corner. Right? Those guys that just hung out on the corner, and I knew them, but I didn't hang out with them. Right? I didn't hang out with none of them. I just kind of stayed in the house like, man. So then Gerard fights one of them, and I want to say, like, maybe the next day or within a week, like, Gerard, he leaves the neighborhood, right? And he leaves the neighborhood, and then one of the guys was like, yo, Bob, why don't you come out? And I'm like, oh man, like, yo, man. And it was the hang. It's like, yo, they boom. They look, come chill, come hang out. So we hanging, and they're already at the ceiling. So then they go like maybe the 6 to probably like 5. So it would be 3 blocks actually, because one block was the 1500 block, and then the other block was the 1800 block, right? And then you crossing over, so roughly 4, right? 4 to 5 blocks, because as you're moving horizontal, then vertical, horizontal. So these guys, they went, I want to say 3 blocks down, and they started selling crack, right? So yeah, it's like about 3 to 4 blocks down. It's a good distance down. They selling crack down there, right? So the ones who didn't go down to sell crack, they just still up where we are, and then you get a couple murders, and just kind of move around, and like, yo, like, because these cats, like, they was getting murdered like right in front of their house, right? One guy. So these are kids, like, dude's probably 15, 16, right? And then that's when you really getting into the drug games around that age. We're just fighting. We're the young ones. We're fighting, but they was out hustling, selling drugs. So they moved. They're selling drugs, right? And we're just pillaging. But it's no sexual connotation. There's no sexual connotation. Is just violence, right? But it brings in a thing when, like, the Crusades, when you have the pillaging, Vikings and any type of mass invasion like that, usually it's going to be killing, and it's going to be sex, right? Killing and raping. Like, when we took over, and I'll get to the first gang war, but when we took over, it wasn't killing and sex, but you just look at our ages though, right? And then so we're fighting gang wars and things like that. Like I said, around 15, 16, now you're selling drugs, right? So you're not in these large mobs just beating people up, and you got the police, you have the government, right? So you just can't go around, kill somebody, living at home, and just occupy their space, pillage. You just, like, raping and pillaging, like, you're not even doing that. You can't do that. But as a young tyke, you can fight. So now we're running a lot. Like, the territory is vast. I mean, it's huge. It's a huge territory. I mean, it's huge. Like I say, it's probably, I would say, like a 50 square mile radius that you can go to. And I remember, like, before, I was saying how you can't even go in certain places. Like Lombard is surrounded, and like, yo, nah. Like, yo, you go wherever you want, right? We just been putting in that work. Now, one of the things that happened was, and we had a few of these, but I'll speak on this first one, because it was just a misunderstanding how it even started. So I had to turn this computer on so that I can upload it. But so we're chilling, right? We're chilling in our regular neighborhood. It's just just a regular day. And this guy, he was walking with this little guy, right? So let's say his name was Tony. Tony and Terry, right? Terry is the little one. Tony is the big one. Tony and Terry are walking through our neighborhood. And I want to say that my man Lou was walking, maybe me and Lou was walking to a house on the corner. So Tony and Terry, they're in front of us, right? They're in front of us. And I get it, man. This is like the story that I told y'all when I was up in Brooklyn. So me and Lou, we're walking to the corner house. Tony and Terry, they're walking, they're ahead of us. And once they get to the corner, boom, Tony and Terry take off. They start running. Right? We like, yo, what are you running for? Like, yo, we not even worried about you. Right? Tony, he the bigger one, he leaves Terry. Right? So Terry, I want to say Terry a little tight. Terry probably like 10 or 11. So I think we caught up with Terry. It was like, yo, you good. Like, yo, we not trying to fight you. We not, you know, you can tell Tony, like, yo, y'all can walk through here. Like, yo, it's good. Like, yo, you feel me? Y'all didn't say anything to us. You really wasn't starting nothing. So you good. Like, yo, this is light work. But Tony look, man, his butt was hurt. You feel me? Like, yo, he ran on his little homie, left him, you know, Terry crying like, yo, man. So Terry get back. I'm sure Terry get back. Tell him like, yo, man, Tony just left me. Right? Tony left me, man. So, I'm sure Tony wanted to save face. So he cook up some story. He cook up something, right? Because one of the homies lived down where their gang is. Now, their gang is a good distance away from ours, but one of the homies, one of our chief fighters, lived down there. So I guess all of them, like a whole bunch of them, roll up on him, go to his house. He like, what? Like, yo, it's whatever. You feel me? Like, yo, y'all trying to see us? I mean, whatever. So he come back up. He like, yo, man, you know, they want that work. So we round up, you know, Autobots transform. So we round up and we go down there. And I remember, you know, we getting our weapons and we listening to Method Man. When I first stepped on the scene, niggas was petrified. Jet back to the land like they were being. Like, yo, release your death, right? So we listening to that, getting pumped up, like everybody just getting amped up, man. And I remember this is our first gang fight. You feel me? This is the first one. You know, this is the first time we go to war, right? It's probably like 15 of us getting weapons. We just like, and I remember walking down to this area. This area is probably like 2 to 3 miles. I would say it's probably like 2 miles, like 2 miles. We walking 2 miles down. And, I remember just working my way to the back, like the back of the crowd. Like, man, I was in the front and I was just slowly walking, just slowly making my way to the back. Just slowly, like, look, man, I mean, I watched the G.I. Joe, like, I watched Transformers. Like, look, man, this, I don't know about this, man. Like, look, I'm not trying to die down here. Somebody gonna die tonight. I keep the hood on hearing niggas saying I'm gonna ride tonight. Like, I'm just working my way to the back. Like, look, man. Let me just if I could have just turned around and just went home, I would have. But, you can't. You gotta be a part of it. This is it. So we get down there and to our agreed upon park where we was going to fight. And boom, we just go at it. We just go at it. And it's like, man, it was crazy, right? So we came out on top. And there was a time, like, so I missed the time I was hanging out with Malcolm and Kevin. That's my cousin's brother. So my other, like, so usually the way it works is that when one cousin has some family members, they don't mix, right? Remember I told y'all one was like, yo, that ain't my cousin, talking about me with Lafayette Projects, right? So they were big boys in Lafayette Projects. Like, they was like the top of the food chain. And they was like, yo, nah, man, Bob, he not my cousin. So that's usually how it worked. But with Malcolm and Kevin, like, yo, they took us in. You feel me? Like, yo, like, they was like, yo, nah, they cool. Right? They took us in. Like, yo, technically you're not my cousin, but you are my cousin. You feel me? Like that's how they was. And that did a lot of boost. So I was really able to jump through the ranks by hanging out with these killers, hanging out with these killers, and it just allowed the territory. That's really how my territory grew, to where, boom, I can go anywhere, and I just had access. And then these killers would go off to whatever, different places, different things, and boom, and I still had full reign. So, I miss them, but because they happened before this, our first gang fight. That happened way before. Because they actually used to live down there, right? But they didn't mess with and see that, like, yo, man, these guys, man, they was lightweight, man. Like, all these people living down here were not really messing with y'all. Like, but y'all, y'all peaceful in the sense that y'all not bringing violence on them. Y'all just, okay, y'all live down here. But, like, yo, man, y'all really not trying to grow your territory, right? Like I said, we went down there to fight. Like, they didn't come up. They didn't come up to us because, like, yo, that's like coming into the belly of the beast. Where we were, like, yo, so we're at the far top. That means you got to go through like 4 or 5 different gangs to even get to us. It would be like some old, what was that movie? The Warriors type shit. Like, yo, man, you going, it's like, we got like 4 or 5 little merger gangs that y'all, like, and we could have really just went hard. Like, yo, picked all of them up, went down there instead of 15, 20 deep, which I want to say was like, yeah, probably like 15. Instead of 15, 20 deep, like, yo, like 50, 100 deep. And we've actually merged like that on a few house parties to fight some people. So, so it just gets crazy like that. Like, it gets crazy like that. But we went down there, just like I said, 15, and took on their squad and defeated them. And usually how it works is you go down there, you fighting. A few of their guys just start running, right? And then the rest of them just don't want to fight no more and just take it. Look, it's an L, and Like, yo, we just acknowledged that it was an L, and we went and we walked back and we was just celebrating. Right? So you got that first one, like I said, like, yo, I'm trying to creep to the back. But by like the third one, man, it's like going to Chuck E. Cheese. Like, look, man, this is good. This is a good time. We got good pizza. You know how adults always talk about how the pizza's bad. You're a kid. Yo, man, this pizza's all right. Look, man, this pizza, you got games. Look, it's a good time. So yeah, that was that, right? And like I said, this is before drugs, before money, right? Because when we think about politics, like I said, like it's money, it's still money, right? Elementary school, boom, is yo, who's backing you? It's the money. Middle school, it's about beating people up, right? It's still, money is still a part of it. You can still get you a girlfriend without money, without anything, but if you like a bum, it's gonna be a lot harder. It's gonna be harder for you to really get you a girl, right? Because of the territory, just because of all the opportunities that I was seizing upon, it also afforded me opportunities on with possessions, right? I was there. Now I'm getting those opportunities as well now. So now your boy, he has the nice shoes and he has the nice clothes, right? Like, so I got that, and I have just solo power. I can go anywhere. I'm good. I'm safe. And I mean, as you guys can kind of tell, like, yo, the type of grooming is going to be, it's going to be like, yo, to take over. That's the grooming. Look, you have all of these alliances. You have all of these territories, right? So like, yo, so we hustling here, which y'all know I never got to hustle. But the idea is, okay, so if we hustling here, we can easily, and let's say the pickup is anywhere within this 50-mile radius, right? You can go there, you can set something up, and like, yo, everybody's good, right? So if you're running it and you're supplying to this whole 50-mile radius, even a small time, like, yo, everybody eating, like, yo, they're gonna elect you. Like, yo, they're gonna elect you. Yo, he's running this. You feel me? Like, yo, that's how it works. Like, that's how it works. So, like I said, high school, you get, high school is money. It's back to money, right? We're really not fighting as much. Yeah, you got some fights here and there, but we did all our fighting in middle school, right? We did all of our fighting in middle school. So now it's about money. It's back to money, right? Money never left, but now that's the focus, right? If you don't have no money, then like, yo, what type of power do you really have, right? But you look at it where you got a little bit of money, because you figure once I was 16, I started working at Checkers. Before I was 16, I was working at like a newspaper, selling newspaper subscriptions, but I didn't make any money. I didn't make nothing. I was horrible. And maybe I probably sold like, one or two things, but I wasn't beasting. And one of the guys, he was cooking. Like, yeah, he was definitely cooking. But yeah, you know, I wasn't really beasting like that. Let's check this. So yeah, you got that. And it's like, boom, now, so I'm working 16, I'm working. The guys, I left the neighborhood. The guys in the neighborhood now, they selling. And you just gotta work your way up, like low level drug dealer status. And like, yo, man, it's for the birds. It's for the birds, man. It sucks. Like, and of course, like, yo, man, like, nah. But I was ready to do it. I just got lucky. That's all. I just got lucky. But that's politics, right? At the very top of anything, you're going to have money, and then it trickles down. Right? But you got money, and then you got emotions. So at the very, very top is going to be money, and then that's going to be clothed with emotions. So when we go back to the slavery thing, the emotional side of it is slavery is wrong, right? That's the narrative, right? That's the narrative that we all say, that we all tell. But the truth is the South makes their money through slave labor. And if we take away the slave labor, then they have to readjust. And while they are readjusting, that gives us the time to really get it in and to set up shop. And boom, yo, readjustment is going to be what? Now y'all doing what we doing. So who better to lead the readjustment than us? So that's the truth behind it. And that's with anything, with any bills, with anything, any type of things is being moved, being passed. It's going to have a financial element at the top. At the very top is going to be something. Look, we're getting our money like this. How are you getting your money? What's in your wallet? So yeah, that's that. I could keep going on just because it's, you know, we really can spend some time, but I'm not. I still got to upload this. It's 10. No, this clock isn't right. Jeez, because the internet isn't right. So it's, man, holy moly. So it's 12 o'clock. Jeez, I was really trying not to be this close to the cuff, but I guess it's just how it is sometimes, right? That's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. So that's that. We'll get into it more. Again, let's go ahead and cook up any of these. All right. So, again, if you guys have any comments, even on this one, if we'll just play it right at the beginning of the next one. That's how I'll run it. So if you guys have any, you guys want to call in, leave any comments or leave any questions, we'll always address it at the start of the next episode. We'll listen to it, I'll address it, and then we'll jump right into the next one. So you guys want to call, that's 304-410-0363. And definitely wherever you listen to the podcast, you can rate, right? You can rate it 5 stars. Yeah, 5 stars only. Okay, if you thinking like, man, I'm gonna give them 1 star, just keep that to yourself, man. Keep those bad notes to yourself. Ew, he ugly. Like, nah, man, what you passing that around for, man? Come on, that's something that you keep to yourself. That you don't need to be passing those type of messages around, man. Keep that to yourself, okay? So 1 stars, look, keep that to yourself. I'm trying to see some 5 stars. All right, you guys have a good week. Be safe, right? Those of you on the lines, look, man, it's tough, but it can be done. You can navigate right? It's tough. So have a good week. Be safe. And Reese's. PCCCC.